Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the early edition of Force for Growth Live. I'm Ricardo.
I'm Courtney.
I'm Michelle.
Oh, it's Monday morning, 8:08. How are we going to get everyone's week started out on a high note?
We're charging. We're all fired up. I don't know if it was because our call this morning or what, but I am fired up. I'm ready.
We are fired up, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're fired up and ready to go.
Mm-hmm. How are y'all?
I'm good. I'm
I'm good,
ready.
too.
I'm excited. What's going on today, Courtney?
Today we have our word of the week. So we select our word of the week each Monday on our 6 a.m. calls by pulling a Do 52 stick that is stamped with a verb. And Do 52 is a simple but powerful toolkit designed by House of Shine to prompt us weekly to do things mindfully and open ourselves up to new ideas. And this week our word is operate.
Boom.
Operate. Yes.
So the definitions for the verb form of operate is to perform a function, exert power or influence. And an example of that one is factors operating against our success or for our success. Another definition, to produce an appropriate effect, to perform an operation or a series of operations, which is kind of what we were a little bit stuck on initially this morning in our discussion, to perform surgery, to carry on a military or naval action or mission, to follow a course of conduct that is often irregular. And then to the transitive verb, bring about or affect, to cause, to function, to put or keep in operation, to perform an operation on. What do you guys think?
Hello, operator. That's just what I keep hearing like every time. But I love this word. This is going to be a good conversation.
Who was it any? I was not old enough. I mean, I remember calling the operator, but I don't remember having to call the operator to patch me through to phone calls. I'm not that old. Did anyone like live in a little small town that didn't have phone numbers and that they had to call an operator to get them patched through to John?
I remember party lines where we shared a line. We had our own phone numbers, but shared a line.
Oh, the party line.
Yeah.
Man, you were a cool kid if you had your own line at your house. Remember?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, your own private number, where you
Yeah.
had your own private number separate from the main house number.
Yeah. I don't think Jesse said, I don't think any of you are that old.
I don't think we are either. That's good though. Good to know. The word operate. What's up, guys?
Yeah. Do you operate your plan?
Yeah.
Or do you let it operate you?
Yeah. What's your operation?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is I like the spin of operation and what we talked about this morning, like Baskets for Good is an operation. That whole organized effort.
The organized effort.
Is an operation, and it operated very smoothly this year.
Yeah. Operation Underground.
Yep. Operation Underground. Yep.
Operation Turkey.
Yes.
So what is your operation? What is your mission? And does it change the tone of your mission when y'all called an operation?
It makes it more intense. It amplifies it. It feels like, okay, Operation Santa versus we're just going to go pass out presents.
Yeah.
I agree.
It feels like, okay, we're going to suit up. We're going to put on our fatigues. We're going to put on our outfits. We're going to put on our uniforms and go and knock this out.
Like it's an organized effort instead of just
let's go do it.
We're doing.
Yeah, it's more organized. It's official. It sounds official when you call it an operation.
Yeah. That's what I like about this word.
Yeah, it sounds good when you call it an operation. Mm-hmm. The one I really like is operate.
Cooperate.
Cooperate.
Yeah.
Who are you cooperating with?
What are you cooperating with?
Mm.
What
Are you
should not
cooperating with the right
cooperate?
people?
Yeah.
That's a big one. A lot of times we cooperate with the wrong people, but we think they're the right people and we don't look at the lesson.
hmm It's like, Michelle, you talk about the power of the 5 closest people a lot, you know? So do
Yeah.
you even know who the 5 closest people to you are? And do you even have an idea of how they're affecting your operation? You know, that's just a good thing to stay aware of at all times, good
That's
or
a
bad.
good one.
Jesse asks,
says, go ahead.
do you operate in cruise control? I think so
Ooh.
many times. Yes.
Yes, is
Wow.
the answer. And what we want it to be is more of a no. So less on autopilot and cruise. I like that.
That's bad. That's a shame that with a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it too, that I'll get in cruise control mode where
Mhm.
you're just kind of going through the motions and just letting it go by and not being intentional and just kind of going by your day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I don't
easy
wanna
to
live
get
in
in that
Groundhog
mode.
Day. Yeah.
We don't want to be like that though either.
Yes. Oh, some good comments are coming in. Good morning, David. Morning.
Let's see here. Ryan says, I'm only seeing the word opera in it, and that does take a lot of organization and cooperation.
Yes. Oh, yes, it
True.
does.
Yeah.
That
It sure does. I had to look wait a second. Oh yeah, that is the
Opera.
word opera.
Yeah. No, I love that because I mean, if you talk technique, tonality, volume, like there's so many factors in an opera that have to be that strong for it to be that impactful of a show. So yeah, that just okay. So what am I trying to say? What unique factors make your operation bold, make your operation unique, or make your essence come to the forefront of your operation? Like check in with yourself. Ask yourself that question.
Are you in harmony? Going off opera.
I like that.
Are you operating in
Yeah.
harmony?
Mm. Yeah.
Or are you in discord?
Off key.
Off
Yeah.
key? Wow. That's a lot to think about.
That is.
Mhm.
So if you're in cruise control, if you're operating in cruise control, what are some ways for people to get out of that? How do you get out of that cruise control? It's important. First, it's important to realize that you're in cruise control, and then it's about getting out of being in cruise control.
Initially, you just need to break the habit, the pattern, just take it off cruise control. However, even if that means you're going to crash. Now I'm talking metaphorically speaking, but what I mean is stop doing the same thing over and over. Even if that means doing something opposite of something you've never tried before, something that has nothing to do with your goal. It's just breaking the pattern so you can then have a moment with yourself where you can see things clearly. But break the autopilot, like take it off cruise, whatever you have to do, and then figure out your next step. Don't stay in cruise control for 20 years looking for your next step.
Even like brushing your teeth with your left hand if you're right-handed. That's one just little thing that you can do. I've heard doing just little tiny things like that creates that whatever in your brain to start making those changes, but also recognizing when you are on cruise control. Like sometimes I think we get in cruise control mode, just going through the motions, and we don't even realize we're there until we wake up one day and we're like, oh my gosh, a month's gone by or whatever. And I think just recognizing that is like, ask yourself, are you on cruise control right now?
Mm-hmm. Or reminding us that we can reset our cruise control speed. You can develop a new autopilot. You can stay in cruise control, but you're going to have to change some things. You're going to have to change some directions. It doesn't mean you can't find it again at a better pace that will be more fitting for the life you want. But right now you need to break the pattern. You need to, exactly what Michelle said.
Yeah. A small one is, if you don't make your bed, make your bed.
Yeah.
If you make your bed, don't make your bed.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's going to kill you one way or the other, or bother you or take you out of that morning routine, it's a big one. I had somebody that was a clean freak, and they had to have everything fixed and tidy, and the counter was always clean. And I was like, put a sock on the counter and deal with it. And it broke that pattern of like, ooh, like that sock on the counter, and I have to deal with it. It's just a sock, and it's a clean sock on top of that. But it was just bothering them for a few days until it didn't. Then it was like, okay, that was a good exercise.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember what meeting or what year that was, but it's we talked about a lot of opposites. What can we do the opposite to just help us channel our resource bank? You know, because when you're on autopilot, you're closing up all these resources, and you're limiting your mindset to just such an extreme extent. So when you break that, all those walls come down, and you can see other perspectives. You can see clearly, you know, for the first time in a while. So if you can get those walls down and see and give yourself permission to look, then take the next step on your goal, it'll be a lot more impactful for actual results.
That's a big one.
I'm going to go to Sandy, my mom's comment.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
She says, when Mike, my dad, was in Thailand during his Air Force days and would call me, he would wait for hours to make a 3-minute phone call. He would patch through to the ham operator in the States. The hardest part was remembering to say over at the end of each statement so they could switch it to the next person for a response. So they literally, I love hearing that story because he would wait for hours and then go in a little, I don't remember what it's like, almost like a phone booth probably, but that's kind of what I picture. And then have to patch through an operator to get mom on the phone for 3 minutes. And then each time they made a statement like, hello, over, how are you, over, they had to say over after every single statement.
To switch the thing on the other side from receiving to sending.
Yeah, so the other person could talk.
Wow.
That's special. Oh, we take things for granted these days. Man.
Yes.
Oh, we do. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Do you operate in gratitude based on that?
Yes.
Do you spend a lot of time operating in gratitude?
I have a perception question. Okay, so the game operator. What if every time we took a step in the wrong direction, we were electrocuted? Isn't it such a blessing that we have permission to fail and get up and try again? Like, let's just pause and think about that. What a blessing. Because if, like, you just think, like, what if you really did get electrocuted every time you touch the side and bzzz, you know, like, that's a big thing that we take for granted that I think in other countries, other times, other cultures, things like that they don't have the opportunities. So it's just, let's just stop complaining for a minute and just be grateful for the opportunities we do have, and that we can try 100 times in a row and nothing bad truly happens, you know, aside from embarrassment or whatever you put on yourself. But that's a big deal to me.
So there's a bracelet called Pavlov, no pun intended. It's called Pavlov, and that's what it does. It electrocutes you whenever to build a habit. It'll electrocute you to wake up. It'll electrocute you to exercise. It'll electrocute you to do certain things and to condition you into doing them.
Where'd that name come from? Or will you tell us more?
If I remember correctly, there's an app that if like we all get it and we all get the bracelet, we can actually electrocute each other.
Oh. That would be fun. That'd be scary with you two, but I'm down.
So I don't remember if that's a feature when I looked at it, or if I was like, ooh, I would want to be able to electrocute remotely. But it's not like a big zap. It's like it's enough to jolt you, but it's not enough to
Can you just imagine him sitting in a group, Michelle?
Yeah.
Somebody's complaining or like doubting themselves, and he's just like, buzz. No.
On the 6 a.m. call. That would be a little dangerous.
Like
I was just thinking this morning, one of the things that I want to kind of go into the new year, but starting now, is to be more deliberate with my actions. And I am even starting to think about that, I see how not deliberate I am in my actions. And I just do things, without thinking or without intention. And so I want to be more deliberate. And I was thinking this morning that I should set a reminder on my phone every hour on the hour to remind me to just be deliberate. And that bracelet would come in very handy for that.
It would. Yes.
Why don't you buy one? Give me the username and password to use a bracelet, and then let's see what happens.
I'm not sure I feel comfortable with
Yeah.
that.
I think on that a little bit.
It would be like a
but-
random 3:25 in the afternoon. Let me just buzz Michelle.
Yeah.
Literally.
Just like, oh, it's 4:20. Oh, what's going on? No, buzz Michelle.
Yeah. I mean, you'd condition us very quick, but yeah, it's just funny that I don't know. We think like we're in such a box, and we think we're in such a forever box with our operation, with whatever you're actually doing, with just what you're operating your job day by day. So just reminder, it's not always going to be like this, or it doesn't always have to be like this. So you can, I don't know, like literally make a list of what you want and then figure out how to operate that. Like operate towards that, operate closer to that, operate more like that, so it's really just getting yourself familiar with what you want and spending more time marinating in it. And that's why I love this word so much, is because it brings empowering tone to like things I've been working on for a while. If I called an operation versus a task I haven't done, like suddenly I'm like, oh, I can do that. Like, I don't know. It's just, it makes it a game or something.
It
So
sounds
just
juicy.
play with it. It does sound juicy.
It sounds
Yes.
juicy. Like, oh, Operation XYZ versus let me
What's
just go
that?
do XYZ.
Yeah. Like, I want to
It's
be able to
like-
say I completed an operation today. Like, heck
Right.
yeah.
It's like you're a 007 or MI6 or something, or whatever Mission
Right.
Impossible is, or my favorite spy show of all time, Get Smart. Shout out to Agent 99, and
That was a good one.
it was good.
Yeah.
So Ryan says, I just noticed the word era in the middle. I love how you're breaking down the word, but he says,
Yes, thank you, Ryan.
can't our operation change over time to fit the era that we're in? It's a good, I like that.
That is such a good question.
Operation. Yeah.
Yes. And the answer is yes, we're limitless. So of course it can, except for we forget we can do that. So
The operation is always evolving. You have to be
Mhm.
flexible. Even generals, that's part of the thing. They have the plan, they have the layout, but if something happens that's unexpected, they have to be flexible enough to change it and implement a new plan right then and there.
mhm. Yeah, innovation. Innovate or die. Like that's the phase of business we're in right now. If you didn't innovate, your business might have died. And that's a fact. That's not trying to say like, oh, here's some, something to motivate you. That's a fact that we live in. So, and Tony Robbins talks a lot about innovation. So I love this point between you and Ryan, because yeah, you can mold with the times. And I would correct that in saying, if you don't go ahead and mold with the times and predict, even when you're at the top of your game, even if you are the top of your industry, if you aren't looking 5 years ahead, 3 years ahead, 10 years ahead to see what could happen, you're not innovating enough to keep yourself at the top. And that's how people at the top stay at the top long term, is they're constantly changing. So it's funny because other people will look to that company and be like, oh, I want to do it just like them. When I forget who said this, but what if you were like, I'm going to build a business just like Microsoft built a business? Yeah, that was successful for them. But if you try that in this era, it's not going to work, right? We're in 2020. We aren't in the 80s. So I don't know. It's just a really fascinating way to look at it. So just
let me tell you like this. If you don't innovate, you won't be in operation very long.
Yeah.
that sums it up. Yep.
Yeah. Ryan says, Ricardo said we can be like 007 when we operate. That's all I needed to hear. Thanks, pal. I'm in. 007 or Maxwell Smart.
There
They
you
both
go.
got stuff done in their own way.
Yep. Man, buy your superhero shirt, especially when our wardrobe is like mostly stay at home kind of wear. But yeah, like buy your superhero shirt Put it on when you're working on something. When you like step into the role and then embody that role, complete your mission, repeat, operation. But we become where we spend our autopilot. We just forget how malleable it is,
Yeah. Oh man, I lost my thought, Courtney. I was listening to you and I was like, oh, Courtney's making some good points.
Deep breath. That's what you tell me, and it always comes back.
No, it didn't come back.
Nope. Okay. What are you thinking, Michelle?
I liked as far as the definitions of the word operate, I liked the one that says to produce an appropriate effect.
Ooh.
So, and we talked about that this morning, like using it in a sentence. The sentence that Merriam-Webster uses, or the phrase, is the drug operated quickly. But we don't typically talk like that. We don't typically use that word in that way. So it's kind of hard to come up with a sentence that sounds right or makes sense. We tried to this morning, but I like that definition, to produce an appropriate effect. So our operation, or how we operate, what's the effect that we want to produce?
What if we said that positive thought operated quickly? That good intention operated quickly. It feels weird. It feels weird to use it that way, but it's grammatically correct, but it still feels weird.
Yeah,
it does.
Because we don't think about things operating and causing an effect. We think about things just working.
And I love,
maybe that's why it feels weird. I don't know.
Yeah, how the definition says appropriate effect, because
yes,
you can have an effect and it be negative. That's probably not what you're aiming for. You can have an effect and it be neutral, meaning no results. It just doesn't, you just didn't take a step back, but that doesn't get you closer to your goal. So just understanding where you are on the needle. But I love that appropriate effect. First figure out how to have an effect, right? And then you learn to take the feedback, take what works, leave what doesn't. Listen to this person, don't listen to this, person that has limiting beliefs, etc. So you just keep, I guess what I'm trying to say is we're ever evolving, finding our appropriate effect. Like you will always be seeking what's more appropriate, AKA listen to the feedback, right? Listen to feedback, okay?
Adjust.
Just shift it.
Ooh, you know what? Going back to the operation game, when you get that buzz, you have to shift.
Yeah.
You have to change really quick. When you get that buzz on the operation game, you have to change. That didn't work.
And shift quickly, because the longer that you wait to make that shift, the harder it is to make the shift, but also the more suffering you have until you make that shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan, was that me? Was that you? You'll always be seeking what's appropriate. Yeah. So there's no day that we get there and we just hang our hat up and are like, okay, we're done figuring it out. We're humans. We're going to be doing that till the day we die. And I say that because I've literally quizzed people of all ages to be like, whoa, how do you figure this out? How do you figure out this thing called life? And literally had a 96-year-old be like, baby, I'm winging it. Okay. So that's where I come from. And just like, we got to stop with this, like, oh, when I get here, I'll have it all figured out. Yeah. No, you'll be more secure with the skills you've then developed at that point. And then you're going to still need something else, in the future, down the road, whatever. And you're going to need to get yourself motivated to get there. So it doesn't necessarily get easier or harder. It just gets different, but you get better. And you just better operator. Come on, operate your life. Like operate it. Don't just leave it stagnant.
Operate in the right direction, man. And then change if you're operating the wrong way.
Yep.
Wait, that's it? That's how easy it is? I'm sorry, simple. I won't call it easy. I'll call it simple.
Simple. Man, this was a good conversation. Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
I was just going to say, when you stump your toe, which we do all the time.
Oh, I did that the other day. And it still hurts.
Does it?
Number one, stop complaining about it. No.
Don't dwell on that. Just make that pivot. Like, okay, didn't do that right, or I shouldn't have done that, or whatever. We all do that. Move on. Like, don't dwell on that. Just move on. Don't do it again. Don't, make that shift, but don't dwell in the past, I guess, is even if it's the past minute or the past day or whatever.
And just like a stumped toe, and I can tell you this from just recent experience, it'll hurt the most immediately. Then it hurts a lot less afterwards.
Mhm. Yeah.
And the more you focus on it, the more it hurts. So
Yeah, now that I started thinking about the toe that I stumped the other day, now I'm like, oh yeah, it still hurts a little bit. But I hadn't been thinking about it for the last 2 or 3 days until you just mentioned it. So
where your
yes,
focus goes, energy flows.
I
Yeah.
can vouch for that.
Oh. What? I was about
Oh,
to say
man.
something, then I forgot because I don't know what y'all are laughing at. Anyway,
I'm laughing at stumping my toe. How I didn't think I was going to be talking about me stumping my toe this morning, but that's okay.
let's see. Ryan has a question. Do y'all have any other ideas on the showing up to work in the superhero shirt idea? Ways to show up ready and excited. Okay. Yeah. What are y'all's favorite techniques to be an excited operator?
I think priming, which Courtney, that you're kind of on right now, but I think priming is a really good way to start your day on the right foot. I don't do it
Yes.
often, but it's a really
It's a
good way
great
to start
way.
your day.
That's okay.
Or-
I'm on
or
day
just your
one, number
morning.
2. So
And to be literal, Ryan, I'll say if your work does not allow superhero shirts, just wear it underneath your regular clothes.
Mhm.
The Superman, like
Yeah.
Superman.
If we're
Jesse
being
says
literal.
music.
Music's a great way.
Music
And
is a really good way.
And so Michelle shared her badass playlist with me once. So maybe ask a friend what pump up playlist they have. Maybe not just a song, but ask your friends, hey, do you have like a go-to, like get me happy and going playlist? Can you send that to me? Because anyway, some of your favorite songs will be on there, but some of theirs, and you will learn new ones. But music is the quickest way to realign your vibration. Literally. So
I love learning new songs. I love hearing a new song and I'm like, ooh, that's good.
mhm. Yeah.
I love it. I love hearing new songs. Jesse says, I'm creating my Date with Destiny playlist.
I know. I saw that. I was like, I want that. Man.
It's a good playlist.
Yeah.
You need good playlists. Okay. If you don't have a good playlist, just look up. I mean, there are thousands of UPW Tony Robbins playlists. Those are always good. But yeah, the Date with Destinies are going to be just as
Different.
impactful with probably
Different.
some more I don't know, self-connecting songs and stuff like that. But yeah, any Tony Robbins playlist will fit this
Criteria.
box for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just move.
Great question,
Move.
Ryan. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
And I think you just said it right. You said move, right?
Yeah. Peak state.
move.
That was going to
Yeah.
be mine because y'all mentioned the other two. Yeah. So just get up, and even if it feels awkward, even if you're crying, get up and do 20 jumping jacks. Do, dance like crazy for 20 seconds, just same thing like at Tony's seminar. Shake the building. Nobody can see you, whatever. After that 20 seconds, I guarantee you'll be in a different state where then ask the question again or try your task again and see if you are getting any other ideas, because you will.
You'll definitely be in a more resourceful state for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse says, walk around 80s, 90s
Mhm.
music, any music that is new to you.
That's a good, I saw a study about a week ago. So yeah, whatever era music when you were a child, or whatever you listened to mostly when you were a child, one, if you listen to it, it has a lot of anti-aging properties, but it gets your creative juices flowing a lot more like your childlike state. So keep in mind, music you listen to in a certain era a lot. Thank you, Ryan, for the word era in operate. You're conditioned to that era and to the cues from that era. So by nature, turn it on and you're just going to turn into more of like a childlike version of yourself if you give yourself permission to. So
That's good.
That's interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
I used to feel bad for not having anything past 1998 on my iPod.
No, don't. Man, yeah. You rock that Beastie Boys, man.
I Wow.
That's a compliment, by the
It
way.
is. It is. It is. I just was not expecting that. But yes,
I almost asked
Oh.
you if you have a Beastie Boys shirt on right now, but I was like,
I do not. Not
way
today.
too
Oh, look!
sidetracked.
I feel like I'm being a superhero.
I love
Great conversation, guys.
Yes.
I appreciate it. This was good, and yeah, we'll be
Thank you,
back on
guys.
Wednesday, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Early mornings. Let us know how 8 a.m. works for you guys versus 9 a.m.
Yes. Let
We'll
us
get
know
it. We're
some
trying to
feedback.
get up earlier. We're doing this earlier to get your morning started off right.
Yes.
So we'll be here 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
Say something, somebody. Shoot.
Thank
Y'all are
you.
just like, okay, he said it all. Okay.
Oh,
Visit the
yeah.
website.
Subscribe
forceforgrowth.com.
on YouTube.
Yes. I'm sorry. This is just a mess. Yeah, we're all over is our point. You can find us everywhere. But our list of all the platforms we're on is at forceforgrowth.com. And thank you, Ryan. Yeah, he said things like drinking plenty of water. That's part of your operation.
Yeah.
So yeah, just appreciate all the feedback and commenting. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys. And we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah. Have a great
Bye,
one.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.